They poured concrete over my farmland while I slept, but they didn't know I had the resources to fight back and win. How would you react if I told you I now own the HOA that tried to destroy my family's legacy? Comment below where you're watching from. The roar of engines jolted me awake at 5:30 a.m. Heavy machinery growled outside my window. I leaped out of bed, heart pounding, and ran to look. My breath caught. 5 cement trucks lined the edge of my cornfield, workers in hard hats pouring gray sludge over the fertile soil my grandpa, Dad, and I had tilled for over 70 years. "Stop!" I shouted, sprinting outside in faded pajamas, barefoot on sharp gravel. My land was being stolen before my eyes. A woman with sleek black hair and a tailored blazer stood among the workers, clutching a clipboard. Vivian Carter, who'd moved into the upscale Pineview Heights next door 9 months ago, had clawed her way to HOA president. "Good morning, farmer," she said, her smile dripping with condescension. "Perfect day to enhance the neighborhood, don't you think?" "What are you doing on my property?" I demanded, watching in horror as concrete smothered my heirloom corn. "This is private land." Vivian's smile didn't waver. "This section falls under Pineview Heights jurisdiction now. We need parking for our new community gym." She flashed a document in a plastic sleeve. "The county approved it last month. This quarter-acre is HOA property." "I tried notifying you, but you're too busy playing in the dirt." I hadn't checked my phone or email, consumed by the grind of keeping my small farm afloat against corporate giants. My family had owned these 10 acres since 1948. This was impossible. My neighbor, Ed Larson, who lived here 25 years before the HOA existed, jogged over. "What's going on, Jim?" he asked. Before I could speak, Vivian cut in. "We're finalizing the community project you voted for, Ed. Remember the newsletter?" Ed frowned. "I thought it was just benches and a fountain." Other neighbors gathered, watching silently. "This is theft," I yelled, voice trembling. "I never signed anything." Vivian's smile vanished. "Your hobby farm drags down our property values. The board voted. It's done." She signaled the workers to continue. I called the police, hands shaking. When they arrived, Vivian presented her paperwork. The officer barely glanced at it. "Civil matter, sir," he said, avoiding my gaze. I noticed his eyes flicker to Vivian's luxury SUV, a county commissioner's parking pass dangling from the mirror. After they left, Vivian approached, flanked by 2 HOA board members in designer suits. "This is progress," she said softly. "Your farm doesn't fit our vision. We'll buy the rest of your land, generous offer, above market." "This farm's been in my family 3 generations," I spat. "It's not for sale." Vivian's eyes narrowed. "That's a shame. The HOA has rules: land use, noise, fencing. You're violating at least 20. That's $100 per day, per violation." She handed me a thick binder and walked away. That night, my phone buzzed with a text from my daughter at college. "Dad, did you send my tuition payment?" Staring at my farm, now smaller by a quarter acre, I felt sick. This wasn't just land, it was my legacy, my income, her future. Sleep eluded me. I spread out my grandfather's old property maps, yellow but clear. That quarter acre was mine. I snapped photos and searched for property lawyers online. A Facebook post popped up, praising the HOA for cleaning up that smelly farm. Comments stung, good riddance. That place tanked our home values. At midnight, my friend Ray, a retired town councilman, called. "Vivian's married to a developer buying up land for a shopping mall. Your farm's in their way." The pieces clicked. This wasn't about parking. They wanted everything. They thought I was a simple farmer they could bully. They didn't know I'd spent 12 years as a real estate attorney before taking over the farm. I dialed Laura Bennett, the state's top property rights lawyer. "Laura, it's Jim Harper. They're stealing my land. I need your help to save my farm and take their HOA." The next morning, I found more violation notices, $300 for unsightly crops. $600 for my rooster. Neighbors avoided me. My friend Clara brought pie, whispering. Vivian told book club your farm's crashing home prices. People are scared. She fined the Thompsons for their mailbox color when they questioned her. I attended the next HOA meeting. Vivian stood at the podium, projecting photos of my farm. This eyesore's cut property values 12%, she declared. I stood. That's a lie. Values are up 8% this year. Gasps rippled. Vivian's face reddened. If they are, it's despite your farm. After, I cornered the treasurer, Mike Evans, who'd always bought my eggs. Mike, why is Vivian after my land? He glanced around. She's got a deal with Apex Developers for a mall. She gets a huge cut if she delivers your farm. That night, I saw Vivian hosting a lavish HOA board party, charming them with whispers and wine. Digging through my grandfather's attic, I found 1974 maps proving our ownership, corrected after a 1973 county error. At the county office, a clerk named Susan showed me Vivian's permit application, using the outdated 1973 maps. Someone knew about both maps to pull this off, she whispered. Laura confirmed it was fraud. Then, a bulldozer roared toward my barn. Vivian smirked. Your barn's 2 feet over our line. It's coming down. I blocked it, phone out. I have proof of your fake maps and your Apex deal. Her composure cracked, fear flashed. You can't stop progress, she hissed. Your farm's gone by next month. The driver hesitated when I mentioned recording fraud. Vivian stormed off, spitting. The HOA will bury you in legal fees. Neighbors watched, some skeptical of her for the first time. I filed an emergency injunction to halt construction, showing the judge my maps. Laura uncovered the HOA's $400,000 debt from Vivian's pet projects, with homeowners drowning in fees. I used my savings to buy 4 foreclosed Pineview homes through an LLC, gaining HOA voting rights. Vivian escalated. Daily inspectors cited my tractor, my fence, even my dog's bark. I overheard Vivian with Apex's seal by my orchard. Once he's out, the mall breaks ground by fall. I recorded it. At the next HOA meeting, Vivian pushed to demolish my barn as a safety hazard. As hands rose, Laura burst in with a court official. This meeting's adjourned. We have evidence of fraud and embezzlement. I stood. I now own 51% of Pineview Heights voting rights. The room exploded. Vivian screamed. Impossible! Laura presented my LLC's 11 properties. Mike confessed. Vivian siphoned maintenance funds. She threatened my credit when I asked questions. Vivian lunged, shrieking. My husband's on the zoning board. You're just a filthy farmer. Security escorted her out as neighbors gasped. Vivian vanished that night. At an emergency meeting, I was elected HOA president. A forensic accountant found Vivian stole $80,000, including Apex kickbacks. The police launched a fraud probe. Neighbors apologized, ashamed they'd believed her lies. We smashed the concrete lot, turning it into a community garden. But Vivian resurfaced, suing me for $2 million, claiming I stole her HOA. Red spray paint scarred my barn. This isn't over. A news story broke, exposing Vivian's schemes across counties. At a packed community meeting, neighbors shared stories of her bullying. Vivian barged in yelling, "He's manipulating you!" Clara brandished Vivian's Apex checks. Speechless, Vivian fled. In court, my evidence, maps, recordings, financials, crushed her. She got 15 months in prison. Apex was fined heavily. The garden thrived, property values rose, and we held a harvest festival. Visitors from other HOAs asked how to fight back. My farm became a beacon of resistance. This wasn't just my win, it was a community reborn. What do you think of Vivian's tactics? Was my takeover too aggressive, or did she deserve it? Share your thoughts below, especially on whether bold moves like these justify the fight. Comment where you're from, And let's keep this conversation going.